So, Murph, I just read a headline today that read that the Yankees are planning to eventually move on from Miguel Andujar and use him as trade bait this year. What do you think about that, especially after I haven't really seen much of him in spring training?
Yeah, that's because of a nerve thing. I think he's got a nerve issue in his hand, arm, somewhere in that region,
Yeah.
preventing him from throwing and then hitting. So not great, especially since he's a guy who realistically had a decent chance to break this roster. I mean, we're going with a four-man bench this year, so and Wade is not necessarily confirmed from what I'm hearing, but yeah, I'd say yeah. I think the Yankees are going to move on from Andujar. I just don't see a place for him on this team. Right? He's not going to take Gio's job. He's not taking Clint's job, and he's not taking Boyd's job. So where does that leave him? And if you're looking at depth right now, I would take Bruce. I would take Dietrich. I would take Wade, all above Andujar as of right now. And that's
Talkman?
Talkman as well. I think those are guys who have high potential. And Duhar has high potential, but the problem is like I think he's better served as trade bait. I think you go out and you try to get something, especially now, Britain going down. They may look to go get another reliever, another arm. Maybe you do look to go get another infield lefty. I don't know. Dietrich hasn't necessarily been lighting it up in spring training. Bruce has cooled off a little bit. He had a pretty electric start, hitting home runs left and right, and he's a
That was
lefty. He's huge.
nuts.
Yeah, so it's interesting. It's going to be coming down to the wire for the final three spots on this roster. I think
Is
the only
Ford
one,
done?
yeah, Ford, he never got
Like
a
Ford.
shot, bro. He never got a shot.
He'll go to Colorado with Greg Bird. He'll
He'll
go.
light it up. He'll light it up.
Oh, he will light it up.
He'll
Yo,
light
go
it up.
go light it up. Just you're not gonna do it for us, man. Hey,
Bro,
but
I'm
look
telling
at
you,
our
Bird's
bench
going to hit
now, though.
300. What was that?
Look at our bench. Like we have veterans and we also have like lefty bats, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good problem to have right now. You got to think right now. Realistically, it's actually two bench spots up for grab, right? Because Hickey's definitely getting one because you need another catcher, and Brett Gardner's getting one. So you got two spots open, and you got to think both of them are going to lefties. So it's a good problem to have. I mean, we're gonna get some lefties finally. Not the lefties we necessarily wanted, but lefties.
So you mean to say Higgy's starting on the bench for you?
Yo, I'll walk away right now, young
But
man.
how about that Gary Sanchez start to the spring, man?
It was great. I mean, he started off just like Jay Bruce Electric, hitting home runs. People are like, yes, he's the, Judge is saying he's going to have an MVP type of year. I hope, bro. I hope.
Because if
And
he
he
has
better
it,
hope.
I think we can fire on all cylinders as a whole team. That'd be freaking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, as of right now, if I'm looking at this roster, at least the lineup, the starting lineup, he's probably the only hole, if I'm being real. And that's just based on like what have you done for me lately type of deal. Like, can he be an asset to this team? Absolutely. He could be one of the best hitters in this lineup if he really, buckles in and gets back to old Gary. Um, yeah, he's cooled down as of late, but I'm not too worried about that. I mean, the only guys you should really be paying attention to are the guys like Dietrich, Bruce, Wade, those type of guys, the bubble guys who are going to make this lineup, who's trying to make the final two roster spots.
I don't know if you saw also, beside we'll get to that point in a second, but Derek Diedrich, I do think he'll be quite deadly at Yankee Stadium off the bench, especially getting those spot starts for rest days of Torres and like if they're going to DH, let's say DJ one day, throw him there at second. Not a bad
Mm-hmm.
idea. He can also play first for Voight.
Yeah.
Same thing with Bruce. We'll
Mm-hmm.
see. We'll see how that goes. Um, I don't know if you saw also Michael King is throwing 97-mile-an-hour sinkers.
Dude, I've got to say, like, I'm really happy with the arms so far this year. I think if you look up and down, like, guys are performing, right? King had a rough first start, and I was like, ooh, that's not great if you want to break this roster. And then since then, he's pretty much been dominant. He's been lighting it up. Herman, I don't even know if he's given up a run yet in spring
Herman,
training.
like they said, he's not going to make the team, but he's looking like the number 2 right now. Like I don't know what
I
are
think
we
he's
doing
making
with
the
that
team.
situation, dude? Like, because he has a bad track record, but so does Chapman.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna start picking those battles, I mean, you're walking a tightroad, right? Because again, like you said, Chapman doesn't have the greatest history off the field, and like there's teams across the league who have those type of players who aren't the cleanest, right? So
like before you continue, like if we stepped away from Chapman, like because we're contradicting ourselves with Herman, we lose Chapman and Britton and Herman. Those are three really good pitchers, like roster making number 2 in your rotation,
potential all-stars,
potential all-stars. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think you have to be careful with how you approach this. I think the Yankees obviously are going to give him that second chance. If I'm being completely honest with you right now, Britton being hurt, and now today Justin Wilson had some shoulder issues, had to come out of the game. So keep an eye on him. He might be out for the first month of the season, in worst case scenario. So there's a good chance Herman breaks this roster, and I think he's deserved it. I mean, he's been lights out, bro. I don't think he's given up a run yet, and he's had some pretty solid innings. Loai's got another guy who just gave up his first run the other day. Like, he's been lights out. People are calling him young Mariano. I don't know if I'll go that far, but I appreciate the confidence we're trying to inject in this kid. I want him to succeed. I want him to be a back-end guy, maybe be one of the 4 horsemen, you know? You never know.
He needs to have that confidence and not just be thrown out there. Because if he has the confidence, I think he'll be good enough to be just put out there in certain situations that he doesn't have experience in getting out of, you know?
Yeah, I mean, he's got the stuff that plays in the big leagues for sure. He's got the speed. He's got the movement. It's just a matter of putting it together. I think the biggest thing is location, right? If you have confidence in getting that location down. Once he starts doing that, I think he could be a young Mariano. You never know. Obviously, don't want to be too crazy about it, right? But
you never know.
You never know. You never know. He could be that next guy up for the Yankees. So, and like everyone else down the roster, you got Nelson, who's doing phenomenal. Who else? O'Day's been great. Wilson, before the injury, has been great. Chapman, great. He's coming up with a new pitch.
Please tell me you saw O'Day hit that guy on the Pirates in the nuts with that slider.
Nasty, bro. Dude, he would have got me. And John Boy had a great breakdown. If you saw his fastball, he threw a fastball inside, and it just sat fat right there on the inside. And he's like, you could tell he was waiting on that pitch, thought it was going to be the fastball. Nope, bam, hits him right there.
We wanted to sign the guy, too. That was Walters.
Yeah. Crazy, bro. That's crazy. That's filthy.
That's embarrassing.
It is. How do you make a roster after getting hit in the nuts, striking out? Striking out in the nuts, bro.
And then he just fell there and just looked into the ground. I mean, there's nothing to do. Like, you cower into, like, you're gonna try to ostrich your head in the floor. Like, no, like, I can't. Like, you just made national news. Like, guy struck. He got filthy K'd and got hit in the nuts.
And worse thing, Gary had to tag him out. So Gary's just like,
Gary's like, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, bro. I don't want to, but like, you're gonna crawl your way to first, and it's gonna be an issue.
we're gonna help you here, buddy. You don't have to run to first.
There you go. Bam. Nice little tag. Yeah, the guy's been balling out. I mean, so far our arms look really good. Kluber's good. Talion good. Young Pedro looking good, and Garcia. I mean, it's a good problem to have. We got some arms right now. We look like we're getting some depth. Obviously, still spring training, right? You don't want to like go over the moon with these expectations, but looking good.
We have a young like end of the rotation and middle of our bullpen. So I'm excited to see how this pans out. I'm also a little nervous because it is going to be of course a longer season. So I want they'll be getting the experience, but I don't think there's anyone better than us in the AL East besides maybe the Blue Jays, but they don't have any pitching.
I'd say the Blue Jays and the White Sox. I think the White Sox are still pretty solid. They probably have a rotation that's probably on par with us in terms of the ceiling. The Blue Jays, like you said, I'm not really scared of their rotation. Ryu's still a threat, but the Yankees seem to touch them up pretty good.
Ever since the Dodger days, they always touched them up.
So. Yeah. Tanner Rokar, he's whatever to me.
4 runs in the first today, nice and easy.
Yeah, they had to take him out and then put him back in. Did you see that? They took him out. It's like, hey, get the young kid in to get out of the inning, and then try to give him a clean inning.
Inning, Blue, this is spring training. You see, though, like they end the inning.
Yeah, they're just like, nah.
Please, enough.
Enough. Nope, we're not doing it.
They had to clear the bases for a veteran in Tanner Roark against the Yankees.
Yeah, not great. Robbie Ray, he could be a guy to watch out for. He could have a resurgence, but and they still got Nate Pearson, the young guy who didn't have the greatest rookie season, if I'm being completely honest with you. I mean, he had his moments where you flash like that ace-like material, but for the most part, it's been kind of whatever.
He's been injury riddled though. He's had the shoulder problem. Now he has a groin problem. I mean, it's the height and the muscle mass on him that's going to get to him. So I think he's going to end up being more of like a closer, which would be pretty cool to see.
Especially since I don't know if you heard, Kirby Yates is down. He's going to be down for the first couple weeks, and I think we played them like we played them ridiculous amount, like 12 games the first couple weeks of the season. So
that's
it's ridiculous.
Nuts.
Yeah, we play them a lot, and they don't have their closer, so that's
they don't have a bullpen.
No, they really don't. It's ridiculous.
Who's I gonna say out of the? We'll get back to that. Bullpen. Aroldis Chapman split change. What do you think?
Nasty. I think that's gonna be huge because I think he gets into trouble because you know what he's gonna throw, right? It's that heavy fastball where he's gonna try to pump it by you 101, which 90% of the time he gets by. He gets in trouble with that slider of his because he doesn't necessarily locate it the best, right? Because he tries to have that power slider similar to Britton, and that thing, if you look at those home runs he's given up, they just hang right in there belt high, and that's where he gets into trouble. Because as a hitter, you just got to be fast to that ball. He gives you all the power you need. You just got to be fast. So
you just got to connect, and the ball will do its work.
So including like a change splitter type of pitch, it's gonna be huge for him. Having taken off that speed and having that late action, it's gonna be huge. So if he can really master that pitch, he could be devastating again. He doesn't need to beat guys with speed necessarily.
Yeah, he's adding another weapon to his arsenal. He has the sinker, he has the fastball, he's got the two-seamer, he's got the slider. It's going to be fun to watch. Hopefully he's just consistent this year. We were talking about Nate Pearson, another young guy that's throwing fuzz. Hunter Green for the Reds. I don't know if you saw that, throwing 101, 102, then 103, just fastball right by guys.
Ridiculous.
Pretty awesome to see.
Yeah, a lot of young studs are going to have some crazy arms. You're going to see in the future, maybe guys start touching 110, and that's going to be like cheese. You never know, It's crazy.
I got to ask you your opinion, because now we're in the middle of our show of Off the Cuff. We got, I don't know if you saw, but the Mets were practicing celebrating a World Series. Did you see that?
Did not see that? That's embarrassing. That is embarrassing.
They won the 27 outs game. You know that game, right?
Yeah.
Where I'll explain the game to everyone watching. Coach is hitting ground balls, fly balls, double plays, hitting base hits kind of thing with a fungo bat.
Mm.
They get outs, get the 27 outs, you win.
Mm-hmm.
You win the game. And the Mets did that, and they practiced their World Series celebration in Florida, in Port St. Lucie, Florida. To be quite honest, the practice the way you plan on playing, but don't jinx yourself, Mets. You guys have congrats, you guys. You had your 22 pitch at bat with Jordan Hicks on the mound with Luis.
That was pretty impressive.
It's the spring, man.
Also the spring.
All you want in the spring, and then you can do all you want in the season, but you got to make the postseason. When you got to the postseason, you got to ball out. Because you just got to get to the postseason. I don't care how you are going to get to the postseason, but you got to get there first, and then you talk about winning. Because don't be practice dogpiling. Don't be practicing that.
Yeah, that's a dumb thing to practice. That's an easy way to get guys hurt, right? Also embarrassing, dumb in general, though. The
maturity.
You're already a meme, right? Yeah, people say the Mets are gonna Met, right? That's a saying. That's literally a saying. Whenever you look at a team going wrong, you're that's the Mets right there, right? They got a good thing going. They have a very talented team. They have a very talented rotation. They got the star they needed in Lindor. I think they should have gone George Springer. But they really don't need him at the end of the day. If you truly look at it, they have a good rotation of center fielders who can go out there and do a job. You don't necessarily need the lights out defense out there. You just need offense, which is something they've kind of struggled with in the past. Having that streaky offense where they have a good second half, but their first half is like they come out of the gate like 12-0 and then just go like lose the next 20 games, right?
Literally, it's been like every year they start out like
Yeah.
they have less than 10 losses in the first month of the season, and then it's just like
straight
like
abysmal.
A barn burner
Yeah.
freaking for the rest of the year,
Yeah.
But they just need the consistent offense, and they actually need the bullpen to pan out,
Yeah.
They got to work. Their team needs.
They've got the talent. They can hang with the big dogs. They're probably like the third team in the NL, maybe fourth behind the Braves. Probably fourth behind the Braves, but they got the talent to hang with the big dogs in the NL. The NL is probably going to be more top heavy than the AL. The AL is like, if you really look, it's like you said, the Blue Jays, the White Sox, and the Yankees. Like apart from them, I don't really see anybody too big of threat. Like the Rays are not good. Sorry to anybody out there.
Not good.
They're not a top 10 team. I barely put them in the top 15. I think the offense last year, let's be honest, wasn't great. I think it was a fluke. I think that shortened season really helped them out. And having no fans, they're used to that. So there was like no downplay for them. I think in a year where we're going to have fans back, right, 20% at least for the start of the season for the Yanks is huge. I think you're going to see a different Yankees team. They're going to come out with a little bit more energy this year, and a longer season's going to help. So that Rays team, yes, they're talented in terms of arms still. Don't get me wrong, but their offense is just not what it's going to need to be to hang with a team like the Yankees, the Blue Jays, and the White Sox.
Very, very true about that. The AL teams and the NL teams, you got the Dodgers, the Padres. You got the Mets, you got the Braves. I can see the Mets possibly beating the Braves, but I don't see them getting past the Dodgers or the Padres in a 7-game set. I'm being as an MLB fan, not a Yankee fan, but an MLB fan. I'm being realistic here. Like I do not see you getting past that pitching staff of the Padres. Like because
as a Padres fan, no shot, no shot.
Because they're like those pitchers will go out there and give you 7. They will give you 7.
I mean, dude, they're dogs. Like if this rotation is fully healthy, because right now I think Lamet is dealing with a little bit of an injury, but he should be back by time, way before playoffs. So once you get this full strength rotation, even then, it's like they still got Morjon, they still got Mackenzie Gore. They have the talent in this rotation to hang with anybody. I would
offense to outslug any team, in my opinion.
I mean, there's no hole in other than like maybe the bullpen, but even then, they've got the tools to go and upgrade this pen. If they go out and get a Josh Hader, like I think they should, this team, no holes, nasty. If everyone plays how they should be playing, and I think they will. I think this team is young, they're hungry, and I think they have a really good opportunity to knock the Dodgers off their pedestal here.
I know they say, like everyone's saying, like, oh, they spent all this money this offseason. It's not always going to pan out the first year. But I think this team, it can really pan out this year for the Padres.
It really can.
They got the talent, and they have – I don't know if you saw C.J. Abrams this spring.
He's looking good.
He's looking really good, but there's no spot for him, so he could be that piece they give up to go get Hader.
I would do it. I think he could definitely centerpiece the package to go get Hader. Him, maybe you throw in a couple pitching arms. You don't have to necessarily give up Gore. But yeah, if they could go do that, that'd be electric stuff. That would literally be the missing piece, probably.
That's like a MLB The Show, like build your own team, space.
That's the franchise team.
Guaranteed yes kind of thing.
Yeah. 100%.
This spring has been fun. You got like Bauer messing around with his eyes, making fun of he's making fun of other Dodger players. He's not even been there a day.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
It's been nuts, and then everyone's gassing Shohei Otani up. It's pissing me off.
Yeah, bro. I think we're starting to get back into that. His rookie year. The reason why he won the Rookie of the Year was because he's that guy. That unicorn, pitching, hitting, doing all of it, and now looks like he's gonna be back to that. I think we're gassing him up again.
I can't wait for him to get injured within the first half of the season and just be a DH,
I can't wait for him to get blown up. Honestly, he goes out down the mound and just gets shoved in by a team like the Tigers just like blown up. It just gets destroyed.
You
That's
mean
what
by
I'm
the
excited
dumpster
for.
fire in the NL Central?
Yeah.
With
100%.
Matthew Boyd, the best pitching arm on the trade block.
Dude, he's a goat. I don't know why you talk down to him, bro. He's the next best thing. Like Verlander, who? Like Cole, who? DeGrom, who?
You say Matt Boyd is
Matt Boyd is
putting
the
you in that
goat.
same category?
I mean, the Tigers are. I mean, why can't I? You know,
They're like, we're not accepting anything besides your number one prospect for him. He's highly touted. He just doesn't want to pitch good on TV, you know?
Yeah. It's like he chooses when he wants to pitch, right? When he wants to pitch good, he'll pitch good. Why?
He lights up the radar gun in the bullpen.
You know, the Yankees call him up. Hey, we'll take Boyd. Okay, we want Glaber. We want Severino. We want Garcia.
Beep, beep. Yeah.
Hello?
Hello. I feel so bad for Casey Mize on the Tigers.
I don't, because he gets a chance to be like the guy. Like if you notice, like Cole like how he was with the Pirates. I mean, you start off on these teams and you start off building, like you get a lot of confidence because like the team has to put all their eggs in your basket. They got no choice.
They got to back you. Yeah.
They have to back you. So your confidence is like, oh, wow, okay, I can do this. I can be the guy for this team. And you have that kind of mentality, like I'm gonna be the guy to turn around for this team. Mm-hmm. Too bad the Angels don't have those guys in their pitching rotation, because their pitching rotation is garbage.
The funny thing is, like, they have Brandon Marsh, but he's not going to play anywhere. How about, actually, no, what they should do is trade Joe Adell and get, like, two nasty pitchers from a team. Don't know who. Trade him and then put Marsh out there because he's a lefty bat.
I don't know how I feel about trading Odell. I think he's just too talented. I think he just has a really high ceiling. I don't think he did great his second half of the season last year, but I think he's hungry. I think he's young, he's hungry, and I think having a guy like Trout, having a guy like Pujols, Rendon around him is gonna just elevate his game. I don't even know who's their shortstop right now. Do you know? Did they sign a shortstop, or are they just sticking in house?
Not Galvis.
No. I don't know who their shortstop is.
No idea.
Did they re-sign? Did Simmons sign?
Iglesias. Jose Iglesias.
Did Simmons sign anywhere?
No. I think he may be sitting out. Actually, no. I think he did sign somewhere. Maybe Cincinnati?
That would make sense.
Maybe.
They really wanted Didi, and then somehow didn't sign Didi, and Didi ended up back with the Phillies.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a thing until I saw it tonight. He had a 2-run homer. And
on a massive contract.
Yeah. Crazy stuff. Considering they almost didn't sign JT.
Literally.
They were like this close to not re-signing him.
Doesn't he have like a broken thumb now?
He does. He has a broken thumb. He's gonna miss like the first month of the season.
he said, and then he went with a bat. I don't want to be here. It's not my money.
He's like, I just want the money, bro. It is what it is. The Phillies are kind of talented, but it's just a shame they're in that division. That is just like you got the best rotations in the league, and then they have Nola, who's just a shell of himself still. Although he carved up the Yankees tonight, I still wouldn't put much stock into that. It is spring trading.
Hell no.
It is spring trading. Guys are really not. I mean, they're taking it seriously now because we're like a week out at this point, week and a half out. But come on. Oh, we got to put a lot of stock into 6 Ks from Nola. 6 Ks.
Hell no.
I mean, I was reading this tweet and I was like, I'm not a big fantasy guy, but I'd take Nola high. It's like, you're stupid. There's a reason you're not a big fantasy guy. There's a reason you're not playing fantasy. Let's not be stupid here. He's got like a 6 ERA still. I mean, let's relax.
Let's relax there, big guy. He had 6 Ks against this.
I like Nola. Like I when he was good, he was good. But right now he's not good. And it's a problem. He's got to find himself.
Change the scenery for him.
Do you think the Yankees are going to make a trade for another arm?
You do?
No, to you. I'm asking you.
Bullpen?
By the trade deadline, we'll say.
For a bullpen arm?
Any arm. Starter or bullpen. What do you think?
Again, depending on how I think if Tyon pans out at least,
Mm-hmm.
I think they'll rock with Cole, Herman, Montgomery, and Tyon. And then if
Okay.
Kluber isn't panning out,
Mm-hmm.
they'll leave him at the 4. And then you need that. I could see them going after and trying to trade for Nola.
Nola? Interesting.
Just because of the fact that they've always been like, we kind of want him,
That's true.
They need someone in the bullpen now. They need someone. Wilson's hurt. Britton's hurt. Besides Loizaga, Green, and Chapman, O'Day, you really don't have. And you have Michael King in there. Cool. He's like a long guy. You have Adam Warren.
Yeah, but Adam Warren could look to break in the roster now. But those are all like kind of like high, like long leverage guys. Those aren't guys. Yeah, those aren't guys you're putting in like 8, 7, like 7, 8, 9. Those are guys you're putting in like, Kluber had a bad day. Cole,
he's coming in there
roughed out. Yeah, they're coming in like 4th, 5th, and so on until like the 6th, and then they take him out.
So it should be interesting. I do think they will trade for some pitcher. I don't know bullpen. I think it'll be more of a bullpen pitcher because they have enough starters. Because Garcia will come back. Garcia will get a chance this year. Clark Schmidt, whenever he's back, I think he will get a shot. I can see towards August, beginning of August, he'll get a shot because he's recovering from his elbow problem. I think now.
I'm gonna shoot some rumors at you. What do you think about a Kevin Gausman trade?
Why not? He throws fuzz.
Okay. What about Herman Marquez from the Colorado Rockies?
We haven't seen his true potential on a real team yet.
He's really high strikeout rate, and the Yankees love that.
High strikeout rate, but he plays in Colorado. So those fly balls that he gives up for home runs, Yankee Stadium, who knows what would happen. I get Yankee Stadium is a small ballpark, but you still need to. He's not pitching in a pitcher's friendly, not a lower altitude, a normal altitude.
Yeah, I got
pitching on a freaking mountain for Christ's sake. So
I like that idea. I like the idea of Herman.
It's just, what is the asking price going to be? Like, are they going to be like, because you guys aren't going to do good this year.
I would assume they've got like next to no leverage.
They have none.
But he's still a high strikeout guy. His ceiling is still relatively high. So it's going to hurt a bit. It's not going to be crazy, but I think it's going to hurt a bit. I would imagine it would cost us a high pitching prospect, Herman, and probably a couple other guys. Would be my guess. Luis Castillo. What do you think about him?
I would take him. I would trade for him.
I think if the asking price is right, it won't be, but if it's right, bro, I would be moving to move heaven and earth for him. I really think he's that good, and I think making him a number 2 behind Cole would just be electric stuff. I think him, Cole, Talion, Kluber, I think that's a really good rotation. And eventually Severino, I think that's a rotation that could definitely hang with the big dogs.
That is a disgusting rotation. A mean rotation, in fact. Filled up with no lefties. I don't care, though, to be quite honest.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't care. When you have every pitcher throwing 90, 95 plus.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge stuff.
Besides Kluber throwing 92, but it's fine.
I mean, I think in best case scenario, one of Kluber and Talion pays off. I think best case scenario. I hope it's Talion personally because he's younger. I'd love Kluber to get that resurgence, obviously, but I'm not going to put all my eggs in the Kluber basket just yet. Although I am a big fan of Kluber and I was like very high on us getting him. I think this was a really good signing, and I was like, I think we paid a little bit much, but like, I think it was good. I think it's a solid signing.
I think Tyon though will be the better of years for
because he's relatively young too.
He's young. He's with his former teammate Cole. Mm-hmm. Cole said to bet on Tyon, so I'm gonna trust Cole. One of the best pitchers in the game, so I'm gonna trust him.
It was interesting. I was reading this article from the MLB, It was like the rankings. They do those like power rankings. They're doing the rotation rankings, and they had us at 8. I'm kind of surprised by that.
I've seen us at 5, dude.
You seen us at 5?
I've seen us at 4 and 5, and I'm like,
That's insane.
I'm like,
the one I read had us at 8, and I thought that was generous.
But I said the 4 and 5, like those writers were on crack.
Those guys are stupid.
We're in the top 10. We're in the top. I'd say
I would put us at 10.
I would 10.
Because it's like it's one of those things. What have you done for me lately? Type of situation. And for me, it's like our rotation's a lot of unknowns. So I think the high ceiling is what really gets us to that number 10. But I think if we're being completely honest, it's probably like if you were to go right now, it's probably 12.
Yeah,
would be my guess. But they got us at like 8, and the articles you're reading, which stop reading those. Stop reading those.
I have. I X'd out of it because I felt
4 and 5.
I felt insecure.
That's insane, bro. 4 and 5.
Yeah, they're on crack.
Well, they got the Padres at 30. Is that what they did? Oh, is it opposite day?
Maybe.
I mean, not to be that guy to shit on our rotation, but like, it's definitely not no 4 or 5.
Right?
It's definitely not. And then they had Miami ahead of us at 7, which blew my mind. It kind of annoyed me.
Pablo Lopez ain't throwing anything higher than a 3, anything lower than a 3.5. Alcantara's not throwing anything lower than a 3. The only person I see throwing good is Sixto. Sixto could have like a 2.6, 2.7.
Yeah, I think those 3 are really solid, but to give them a 7 rating, like a 7 ranking, is just beyond me. I think they're definitely like, I could argue top 10, but like not ahead of us by any means. Not ahead of us. Interesting stuff.
It is quite interesting. This spring has been quite fun. I think we're like a week out of baseball, right?
Baseball? About a week, yeah. About a week and a half.
I can't freaking wait, man. Baseball's back. Baseball is indeed back. It should be a good season. Finally, 162 games. Yes, 162. Pray for Gary Sanchez that he continues to do well. I pray for Matt Boyd that he figures his life out and that the barn burner of a Detroit Tigers team. I also
he's a goat. Please, he doesn't even figure anything out.
I also pray for Mike Trout because the man.
Get off that team.
Get him off. What?
Save him. Get him off. Get him out.
Get him out of here.
Get him out.
He said today that he fixed his swing, which I don't understand. But I'm gonna leave you at that point.
Okay.
I gotta go edit this long John video. But Mike Trout just said he fixed his swing. That's why he put up so low numbers last year, even though he hit 290 or 283 and 17
home runs. He had 280, 17 home runs.
Yeah.
Rough year.
Off year for Mike Trout, the GOAT. I'll leave you with that. Let us know what you think in the comments. Thank you, Murph, for joining us for another episode of On the Cuff. Off the Cuff.
We're not on the cuff. We're off the cuff.
We are off the cuff now.
Not now. We fit that.
We're off the cuff.
Bye.
Later.